Sorry, let me.
Okay. It seems that every day people throw away food more often without thinking twice. Maybe it's last night's leftovers that have not been sitting a little too long in the back of the fridge, or those groceries we bought trying to start that new diet but we forgot about them and they went bad. Or even leaving behind some of those leftover meals because we got too full at restaurants. But what if I told you that while we're able to leave food behind when we're full, millions of people are going hungry? Food waste isn't just a small habit, it is a global problem that affects the environment, the economy, and human lives. Today I will talk about how serious a problem that Americans overlook, which is food waste. I will further discuss how this impacts you and what you can do to help reduce it. To better understand this issue, we need to understand how serious food waste has become in the United States. Can you remember the last time you left part of that meal behind or followed that recipe that didn't went exactly the way you thought it would, and you threw it away unexpectedly? You may have thought, you may have not thought much about it, but these small actions still contribute to food waste. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the average American wastes about 30-40% of their food supply, nearly 109.4 pounds per person a year. Without realizing, millions of people around the world still struggle to get enough food. According to the United Nations, about 8.4% of the population will experience hunger in 2024, making about 1 in 11 people worldwide go to bed hungry. Therefore, this shows that the imbalanced food waste is for those who have food and those who don't have food. While so much food is being thrown away every day, there are still people who don't have enough to eat, which makes this issue even more serious and hard to ignore. Another thing I want to bring to your attention is the amount of harm food waste causes to our environment. According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, most food waste ends up in landfills where it breaks down and produces methane gas, which is a greenhouse gas that contributes to climate change. So not only is food waste taking part in creating pollution, but it also creates even more after being thrown away, as it wastes even clean water, energy, transportation, and labor, according to the FDA. Therefore, by throwing away food, not only are we throwing it away, but also the chain of how it got to us and how it's being used for nothing. So now that we understand how serious food waste is and the impact it has on both people and the environment, the next question is what we can actually do about it. The good news is that reducing food waste does not require drastic change. It can start with something small, such as planning ahead before going to the grocery store, making a list. To back this suggestion, the FDA mentions that making a grocery list and planning meals in advance help people avoid overbuying food instead of purchasing what they actually need, which seems to be one of the biggest causes of waste. Based on my survey, about 71.4% of people said they already plan grocery lists, showing that this is something many people are capable of doing consistently. Another important step is being more mindful about how we store food. A lot of food goes to wastefully because it gets forgotten or spoiled too quickly, so I suggest regularly checking expiration dates and paying attention to what we already have at home to avoid over-purchasing. In my survey, 42.9% of people said they sometimes forget about food in their fridge, and 28.6% said it happens occasionally, which shows that this is a very common issue that can be improved with better habits. In addition to using leftovers creatively, instead of throwing them away, we can also reduce waste by, many responses in my survey said that people already try to eat their leftovers the next day or reuse ingredients for different meals, which proves these solutions are realistic and already being practiced. In conclusion, food waste is something to ignore. Isn't something to ignore. It is a serious problem that affects people, the environment, and out of everyday lives. We saw how much food waste is in the U.S., how many people are still going hungry, and how our actions, even the small ones, contribute to a larger issue to the environment. But the important thing to remember is that this problem is not out of our control, but based on my survey and even our own habits, we already know where food gets wasted, and when it happens, that means we can also have the power to change it. Just with simple actions like planning meals, storing food properly, and actually using what we already have can make a real difference over time. So instead of contributing to the norm of wasting food, we should start seeing it as something we can improve in our everyday lives. Because at the end of the day, reducing food waste isn't just about saving food, it's about valuing it and making our part in creating a better, healthy environment. Thank you.